speaker is special because he is also the president of the Alumni Association of Shorter College. And so now we are waiting to hear from the president of the Alumni Association of Shorter College, Mr. John Brunson. Give him a hand.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody this morning? Good, good, good. Well, I'm certainly glad to be with you today. I'm glad to see all of you out here today. Once again, my name is John Brunson. I'm the president of the Shorter College Alumni Association. All of you students are going to be alumni one day.
Amen.
Now what does that mean? You're going to graduate, and then you're going to come back, and you're going to give back, right? And most of all, you're going to donate some money. Is that right? Huh? You're going to donate some money. All that money you're going to make, you're going to have so much you're going to want to give back and help somebody else. Isn't that right? That's what an alumni is all about. And that's what we try to do. I'm here representing not only the alumni, but the Arkansas Workforce Center, which is where I'm employed. After I left Shorter College, I started my career at the Economic Opportunity Agency in Little Rock, as Ms. Williams has mentioned. I worked there as a counselor, and I worked there for a number of years, and after that, I went on to another venture, and I've been at this job for 26 years. Now, I guess either I'm doing a good job or they can't find anybody else to replace me. One of the two. Before I get started, I always like to talk to the audience and test your listening skills. How many of y'all think you're good listeners? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we got about 5 or 6 good listeners in the crowd, all right? I'm going to test your listening skills. Now, you're in college, so you know about tests, right? This is a pop quiz. So I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to ask you a question at the end of the story, all right? Now, whoever answers this question correctly gets a door prize. We got some fabulous door prizes over here. So listen closely. Imagine for a minute that you're a bus driver, okay? It's your job to drive 25 students 15 miles each morning to school. So you get in your bus, you pick them up, one stop after another, and you take them to school. They get to school, they get off the bus, you go about your business, and in the evening you come back and you pick them up and you take them back home. You don't miss anybody, you don't leave anybody on the bus. Why? Because you're a good bus driver. Now this is the question I want to ask you, if you've been listening to everything I've said so far. How old was the bus driver in that story? Yes, sir.
I'm 20, so I think the bus driver would end up being 20.
Give that man a hand. Let me shake your hand, sir. He's a good listener. So how many knew that? You knew that? Okay. Listen. You never learn anything from talking. You learn from listening. So make it a habit to listen. You'll be glad you did. How many of you are familiar with the Arkansas Workforce Centers? Because all of you are. So I don't need to say anything. I can just sit down there, huh? Okay, well, I guess I will say a few things. Arkansas Workforce Centers are funded by the U.S. Department of Labor. And what happens is, in Washington, our senators and our representatives who decide how much money each state needs, sends money to the governor's office. The governor then contracts with Arkansas Workforce Center operators to sponsor these programs. There are programs there for youth who are looking for jobs during the summer, looking for jobs during the school year. We have a couple of youth working on campus here, as a matter of fact, and we pay the salary while they're working on that program. It's a year-round program, and we have more funds during the summer than we do during the year. We also have programs for anyone who's looking for a job. If you're looking for a job and you're an adult, we have programs for you. We have assistance for anyone who's going to college. So there are a number of opportunities that are available at the Workforce Center. So I'm going to talk about most of those before I get through. But the first thing I want to do is that you all pick up your brief application when you got your packet. There's a brief application with your packet out front. It's a one-page application. It looks like this. It says Arkansas Workforce Center brief application. It's important, if you didn't get one, get one. Do you have a pen? All right. One of the things that we do at the Workforce Center is we assist individuals to fill out applications. It's important that you complete the application correctly. Why? Because your application may not be considered if it's not completed correctly. So this is a brief application. I want you to take a few minutes while you're listening and fill out this application. We're going to collect them at the end, then I'll tell you why you completed it once you get through. So if you didn't get a brief application, step outside and get one and complete it.
It should be in the Career Watch booklet.
All right. Okay, back to the workforce centers. There are 75 counties in the state of Arkansas. There is a workforce center in every area of the state. Now I represent the Central Arkansas workforce area, which has 6 counties, as Ms. Williams mentioned, under our jurisdiction. Pulaski County. How many of you live in Pulaski County? All right. There's a workforce center in North Little Rock on Pershing Boulevard. You know what that is? And there's one in Little Rock. The one in Little Rock serves anyone that lives inside the Little Rock city limits. The one in North Little Rock serves anyone that lives outside of the Little Rock city limits. And that's every area in Pulaski County outside of the Little Rock city limits. So North Little Rock, Jacksonville, Sherwood, Maumelle, Sweet Home, Wrightsville, College Station, all those areas outside of the Little Rock city limits are served by the North Little Rock Workforce Center. We also have an office in Benton. How many of you live in Saline County? How about Conway, Faulkner County? Okay. Lone Oak, Brinkley. Those are the areas that we serve. But as I mentioned, there's a workforce center in every area of the state that provides services. And what do we do at the workforce center? Well, first of all, we assist anyone that walks in the door who wants to either complete a level of education or get a job. That's what a workforce center does. Now, the workforce center has a number of partners located under one roof. For instance, in North Little Rock, we have Job Corps there. How many of you are familiar with Job Corps? Job Corps is an opportunity for individuals who may not want to go to college right away to get a skill. The recruitment office on this side of the river is in North Little Rock at the Workforce Center. How many of you are familiar with the Central Arkansas Development Council who operates the Head Start programs? How about the energy assistance programs? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, what they do is pay utility bills for anyone who has a shutoff notice. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at the Workforce Center in North Little Rock. All you have to do is have a shutoff notice and come in, and they will assist you by paying your utility bill. 8 to 12 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Also, we have a computer lab at every one of our centers. How many of you need access to a computer? We have a computer lab there. All you got to do is walk in, sign your name, go down the hallway, and use one of our computers for whatever you need to use it for. As long as it's education or employment related. Now you can't go on there and watch a movie or Snapchat or do your Facebook. That's not what it's for. That's not what it's for. It's there to help you with your education. So if you need to do some homework, you need to print something out, you can do all that at the Workforce Center. All these services are free. These services are paid for by your tax dollars. Every time you go into Walmart and buy a gallon of milk and pay taxes, part of that money goes to sponsor the workforce centers, which is what we do. So this is your opportunity to take advantage a program that you helped pay for. It's one of the best kept secrets there is, because there's not a lot of people that utilize them and know about them. Some of you said you do. Tell all your friends, come by the Workforce Center. That's why we're there. That's the reason it's there. There's also an adult ed program in the Workforce Center. We have adult education instructors there. So if you know someone who has not completed high school and need to get their GED, they can come to the Workforce Center, sign up, and get their GED at the Workforce Center. Shorter College has an office there. The alumni office for Shorter College is located at the Workforce Center. We hold our monthly meetings for the alumni at the Workforce Center. So it serves a number of purposes in every part of the country, and it's available to all of you. So I encourage you to take advantage of it, because there are a lot of things that you may be able to get assistance with at the Workforce Centers. All right, it's time for another door prize. Yes, sir. He's got a question.
Are you aware of if the Arkansas Workforce is still doing the Arkansas Workforce Career Readiness Certifications?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes.
All right.
That's a good question. Very good question. All right. Have you completed your applications? Everybody through with your applications? Okay. One of the questions on your application said age. Now, don't be afraid to tell us how old you are. And this is only for students now. Only for students. Okay, so who's the oldest student? 42. Beat 42. 61. 61. Beat 61. 69. 69 Sunday. I don't think anybody can beat that. All right, give her a hand. Who? Whose hand was that?
The lady in the barbecue shirt at the top. Right here.
Did we see another hand up? How old are you? 70. Give her a hand. You see why it's important to fill out your application correctly? You never know what it's going to lead to. All right. This young man asked a question about one of the services that are available at the Workforce Center. There is a packet that looks like this that says your future awaits. Everybody get one of these? All right, let's open that up and take a look at it. This is information about some of the services that are available at the Workforce Center. And one of them is what that young man just asked about, the Career Readiness Certificate. So the first page says, your future awaits, Arkansas Workforce Centers, and it tells what they are and what they do, which we talked about already. Second page says your job seeker services. Arkansas Workforce Centers offer services in 3 levels. Self-service in the Resource Center. So as I mentioned, you can come in, sign your name, go in and use the services yourself without having anybody do anything except show you where the computers are. One-on-one services for those needing personal assistance. So if you need some assistance, you can ask someone to help you, and they'll be glad to. And training for those qualified, and I'll talk about that a little bit further. The Arkansas Career Readiness Certificate on that next page. The Arkansas Career Readiness Certificate is a certificate that you can receive that allows you to take it to an employer and present it to that employer and show that employer that you have math skills, you have reading skills, and you have locating skills. I mean, you can locate information because it tests all those things. The Arkansas Workforce Center provides assistance for you to complete the Career Readiness Certificate by putting you on a computer and assisting you when you need help. Reading for information, applied mathematics, and locating information are the 3 areas that you'll be tested on. It's not a pass or fail test. It just kind of lets you know what level you are on. So you take that to an employer and present it to the employer. Once you get that certificate, that employer recognizes that, and they'll give you a little push or get your foot in the door ahead of someone else. Once you complete that certificate at the Workforce Center, it's certified by a college or university, and then the governor signs off on it. So it has a little weight behind it. It's not just a piece of paper you walk in and say, I got this at the Workforce Center. It has a little weight behind it. So it's available to anyone who would like to come and complete it. You complete it at your own pace. And there are several individuals who came from Shorter College to complete the career readiness certificate, and I hope it helped them to assist them to get employment. Was that kind of what you were talking about?
Well, that was going to lead up to my next question.
Sure.
I was actually wanting to know how long it would be before the actual certification expired, before I had to renew it.
Certification doesn't expire.
Okay, well, now you got to worry.
No, there's no expiration date. Once you complete the certification, it doesn't expire.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Is that another question? Okay. Veteran services. Veterans receive preference at the Workforce Center. All the programs that we sponsor and that we operate have what they call veteran preference. So if you're a veteran, you go ahead of anybody else. We appreciate your service, and we want to recognize that by giving you the opportunity to be served first and to receive funding first. So if you're a veteran, come in, sign up, and get assistance through us before anyone else does. I'm going to thumb through this and go over to the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. How many of you are familiar with that term? Self-explanatory, all right? How about the Workforce Investment Act? How about the Job Training Partnership Act? How about the Comprehensive Employment and Training Act? How about the Neighborhood Youth Corps? All those are programs that began as a result of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In 1964, after the Civil Rights Act, there was a need to provide assistance to individuals who needed employment, needed housing assistance, and the Department of Labor formulated a program called the Neighborhood Youth Corps. The Neighborhood Youth Corps assisted youth to find employment during the summer and during the school year. After the Neighborhood Youth Corps lasted for about 9 years, the Nixon administration decided to include adults for the first time. And so they created a program called the Comprehensive Employment and Training Act, or the CETA program. That program lasted for 10 years. That program was replaced by a program called the Job Training Partnership Act under the Reagan administration. It lasted for 10 years. So about every 10 years, these programs change. But there's been a program like this around since 1964. After the Job Training Partnership Act ended, a new program called the Workforce Investment Act replaced it. And in 2014, President Obama signed into law the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Now what that program does, it allows us to provide summer employment, as I mentioned. It allows us to help individuals find jobs. It also allows us to fund individuals to attend college for 2 years. The state of Arkansas has what they call a training eligibility provider list. That's a list of schools around Arkansas that have programs that the Department of Labor would allow us to fund. Now you're probably going to say, well, there's Shorter College on that list. Yes, Shorter College is on that list. Now, the thing about that list is there are what they call demand occupation jobs. They're jobs where there are plenty opportunities for people to go to work. And those are the areas that they will let us provide training for. What we do with that program is we pay for tuition, fees, books, and supplies for up to 2 years. Shorter College has one program on that list. And that program is the Child Development Program. Child Development Program. How many of you are involved in that program?
Right here.
Right here, okay. Do you have enough financial aid already to complete school?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. But, I can always use some.
Always use some more, huh? All right, I suggest that you stop by the Workforce Center, talk to one of the case managers about that program. And if you know anyone else who's interested in attending that program, let them know. Now, that program is available in Little Rock at the Little Rock Workforce Center. As I mentioned, the 6 counties that we serve, and also southeast Arkansas if you live in Pine Bluff or one of those areas. Yes, ma'am.
Why is it only available in town and relevant?
There are what they call demand occupations in the state of Arkansas, and the other occupations that were on the list that are available at Shorter College didn't meet that level of having enough demand jobs available, so it wasn't included. There are some limitations on what we can fund, what we can't fund, and that's why. I mean, I wish all of them were on there, but they're not. So we can only fund the ones that are considered in high demand in the state of Arkansas. What that means is that there are a number of jobs available for people to go to work in those fields, more so than the other occupations. There's nothing wrong with the other occupations, it's just that we can only fund those that the Department of Labor considers in high demand. So that's why. We're hoping to get more on that list. We've been working with Ms. Williams on that, and we're hoping to get more included on that list so we can fund more occupations here at Shorter College. But we want you to know that these opportunities are available. That's why I'm here today. There are opportunities available that you need to take advantage of and make people aware of so that you can receive this assistance, because it's there for you. It's funding that I mentioned earlier that was provided by the Department of Labor through your tax dollars. So let people know about these programs so that they can take advantage of them. We also have programs for individuals who are laid off. It's called a dislocated worker program. If a company closes or shuts down, anyone at that company qualifies for our program. If you are not a person who's called a dislocated worker, there's an income limit depending on your family size. But if the company closed or shut down, you can be the president of the company earning $100,000 a year, and we can fund you to go back to school. There are probably 50 to 60 colleges on that list in the state of Arkansas that we can fund. And there are limitations based on the amount of money that we receive and when you come in. So it's important to get into the office and get signed up before we obligate all the funds. The funding period begins in July of every year, and ends in June. So during the summer months is when we receive applications, we screen those applications, and we get them ready for funding during the fall. We also have another funding period in November and December to get ready for spring classes. So we've enrolled a number of people already for the fall school term, and we're getting ready to start enrolling people for the spring school term. So those are 2 crucial periods that you need to come in and apply. That's just another form of financial aid that's available for individuals who are going to school. Also in that booklet, if you're interested in signing up for unemployment services, it's available there. The Department of Workforce Services, which operates their program in the Workforce Center, they can assist you to find employment as well and sign up for unemployment benefits. If you've been laid off, you need to sign up for unemployment benefits. As I mentioned earlier, there's a page on the adult education program. What about vocational rehab? Vocational rehab, rehabilitation services are there for individuals who have disabilities. We have a special program for youth who have disabilities, individuals who may be wheelchair bound, have some type of disability and may not be able to do certain types of work. We find jobs for them and assist them with employment during the summer as well. That program is only during the summer. It's not during the regular school year. So those are some of the services that are available at the Workforce Center. And there again, I encourage you to take advantage of them. All right, there's another booklet that you should have gotten a copy of. It's called Job Seeker's Guide. Take a look at that for a minute. In this booklet, there are effective job search techniques, resume preparation, interview skills. How many of you have gone on an interview recently? Did you get the job? Only God knows. You hadn't found out yet? One more interview. Okay, well, good luck. Good luck. What this book does, it is gives you some guides that you can use to complete a resume, to start your job search, and also some of the things that you can do after the interview. Turn to page 7. Use of the internet and social media effectively. How many of you use social media in some form or another? Almost everybody probably does now. Well, social media is one of the areas that you can use to assist you to find employment. There are jobs that are posted on different websites, jobs that are posted on Facebook about employment. We have a web page, as a matter of fact, that has our jobs posted on there, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But social media can be used not only for casual conversations and making connections, it can be used to assist you with employment. So take advantage of social media. Creating a resume. There are different types of resumes that you can create. There's what's called a master resume. A master resume will include all of your employment history, all of your education, and it's one that you want to keep on hand. But there are also what they call targeted resumes. Targeted resumes is a resume that may just be targeted to one specific company or one specific industry. So you should have more than one type of resume. And in this book, it gives you samples of resumes, chronological resume, a functional resume. It gives you some resume do's and don'ts. When creating your resume, do include, of course, your name, address, phone number, email address, and that information. Do not include references to your age. Do not include personal information, religion, social security number. Do not include negative language. Do not include salary history. Now, you may have a job where you list your employment, but you don't need to list your salary history. That's not something the employer will need to know. They may ask you that question if you ever go in for an interview, but it's not something you want to include on your resume. Yes, ma'am.
So when do you discuss your work at the job? After what? During the interview or after the job or?
During the interview or after the interview?
Some people, they have it set on what they're just going to pay you and that's it.
Right. You can discuss that during the interview. You can ask that question. You can discuss it after the interview.
Do you suggest people to leave if they don't feel like they're getting paid what they want? Do you think that they should just sit there at that job or should they just keep it?
After they've gotten hired?
Yes.
I don't encourage anybody to leave a job until you got another one. So if you're working and you're looking for another job, keep the one that you got and then do job search to find another one.
No. I'm talking about the job that you just did that we, you saying don't discuss the salary. And I was asking when to properly discuss it. And you said afterwards, and I said, what if that company is not willing to pay you what you're worth? Do you walk away or do you stay?
Well, that's a decision you have to make. That's a decision you have to make.
I know, that's what that's for you.
I would say based on your decision, because I can't say what everybody should do. I think based on your personal opinion, if there's a salary that you're seeking and that company's not willing to pay that salary, then I would say you continue to search further. If you're in need of a job and you want to take that job until you get a better job, then you may want to take that job and then seek another job. We can. All right, any other questions? Okay. If not, it's time for another door prize. All right, on that brief application, there should have been a question on there that says miles traveled to school. Now that question is going to be the number of miles you travel from your home to school. So who traveled the farthest to get to Shorter College?
I travel 20 miles a day. I travel 25.
25 miles a day. B? How many? 30 miles a day. How many? How many? 54? $54 miles? Yes, sir. 54 miles, going once? Going twice? Give him a hand. Okay. Does anyone have any questions as I draw my presentation to a close? It's been a pleasure being here with you today. I hope you heard something that you can use There again, take advantage of these services. They are available. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Brunson, is it too late for the child development students to take advantage of benefits for this semester?
If you've already enrolled in school, yes, ma'am. You'd have to come before you enroll in school for that semester. Any other questions?
No more door prize?
All right. All right. Yes, we got some more door prizes. There's a question here.
Where did he live?
Who?
Where did he live?
He's in the middle of nowhere, 54 mile drive.
That's the where you from?
I don't know that.
He don't.
He drives 54 miles, so he lives quite a far distance from here. All right. The next door prize is going to be given away to the youngest person in the crowd. All right, who's the youngest person in the crowd? How old are you? 21. Who's younger than 21? How old are you? 18? How old are you? Just turned 18. Oh, we got two. All right. Come on down. Are there any other questions? If not, I've enjoyed being with you today. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you for inviting me.